Welcome to Connecting Greeks, a streaming comedy show and podcast designed to explore and enhance Greek culture around the world. Join hosts Angelo, Adi, and Foti as they bring you fun and interesting guests from all walks of Greek life. Grab a kafedaki and join us.
Welcome everybody to another awesome show, another Connecting Greeks episode. Tonight's episode, I think, is going to be one like we haven't seen before, and I'm real excited about it. I'm Ari Kalos. With me is Foti Stamos, and the man, the legend, the guy you guys all want to see, Angelo Tsaroukas. Hi, Angelo.
Hi, Adi. Hi, Foti.
That's Angelo.
How's it going? Now, I want to point out something. Forti's got like Santorini in the background. You have Boston, and I look like I'm on a break from a California state prison in the background.
It doesn't matter, Angelo. As long as you're there, that's all that counts.
I lit up a little cigar for people. I like having a puro in the conversation.
We need the background because we don't got much going on for us. But you, you have you. We have you, and
you
that's
guys
all
have
we need.
lots. Well, that's great. Well, we have I think so far on Connecting Greeks, we've had some very interesting guests, very entertaining guests. Connecting Greeks is trying to bring people from all around the world, from all different backgrounds who are connected to something Greek. That's the thing of the show. Our next guest, and I'm very, very excited to have him on the show, I've been a fan of his for years. I've known him when I used to live in Ottawa, Canada. He is, and this is the situation here is he's a statistician for Statistics Canada, the federal government in Canada.
He's a PhD, right?
Yeah. He's a very, very smart guy. And his alter ego is he goes to China and he sings songs that are Greek in Cantonese or Mandarin. And I've been a fan of his. A very fascinating man. Please welcome on Connecting Greeks this week, George Sapounidis, or as we know him, Chairman George.
All right, let's get him on.
Get Chairman George on here.
He should be coming on in.
And
Chairman George, there he is.
There he is.
I like the name. There he is.
There he is. He has
Yasu
to unmute.
Yorgo.
There he is.
There he is. Hi, George.
Yasa Soli.
Yasa Yorgo. Hi, George. How are you?
Very good, Angelo. Great to see you.
Good to see you, George. I've known you for years. I lived in Ottawa most of my life.
Yep.
We did this new format called Connecting Greeks, and Ari is in Washington, Forti's in Boston. I'm in Los Angeles. You're in Ottawa, Canada, the capital of Canada.
Yep.
And you're an interesting man in the sense that you're a statistician for Statistics Canada, and you've had a great job there. And for 8 months of the year, you work in Ottawa. You work for keeping us safe and working for the Canadian government. And then, George, with your bouzouki, you've become a phenom in, of all places, China. So, because for our fans and new fans of yours listening, give us a bit of a background here. So you explain how this happened.
It's a bit crazy. I've been doing this now for about 20 years. Back in 1999, I had just finished my PhD at the University of Toronto. When I tell people I have a PhD, I say that I have a FUD, PhD, Pizza Hut delivery. And I can count to 4. That's all you need to be a musician. So I came back to Ottawa after my graduate studies. I returned to Statistics Canada, where I had already begun working. I had taken a leave of absence from my graduate studies. I came back, and the same office and the same cup of coffee was where I had left it, on my desk.
Just sitting there. Yeah.
Just nothing changes, my friend. But great job. Then I met can you believe it? I mean, I met a woman from Beijing whom I became involved with, a very wonderful, intelligent lady in Ottawa, also working in the government. And I said, I'm already a folk singer, multilingual. I'd love to learn a song from the East, a song from Asia. Could you teach me a song in Chinese? So she taught me this song from Northwest China, which took me 2 months to learn. That's fine.
Okay.
I learned it, and then I got invited to the Chinese New Year, and I performed this song for 2,000 Chinese people, and the roof fell in. They were like applauding every 10 seconds. That's all fine and dandy. Then I gave this concert in 2000 in Ottawa. I invited the Chinese embassy and the Greek embassy. 2 months later, I invited the Chinese embassy and the Greek embassy to this concert in 2000. All of them came, and a month later, I get a phone call, not from Los Angeles, not from Hollywood, but from China. The Chinese embassy called me and said, George, we'd like you to invite you to China in a few months this October. And they flew me over to China. First time ever, Air Canada flight over this huge country. And the skies open, and I discovered, I knew that it was China, kind of roughly equivalent in grandiose stature of Greece. The history, and I was overwhelmed. I landed in China, and I took part over 3 weeks in these two big international festivals. Okay, that's fine, but that's where it starts. I came back, and in 2001, a year later, guess what happened? Beijing wins the Olympic Games.
That's right. That's right.
2008. And guess what's happening in 2004? I'll ask you.
Yeah. Well, the Olympics were rightfully done in Athens.
Exactly.
I thought the European Cup was won by Greece in 2004.
The same year.
Too.
But it was also that was great. That was 14's attempt at being clever. No, but the 2004 was the Athens Olympics, and they were passing the torch off to Beijing.
Exactly. So the amazing thing is that for me, here I am in Ottawa, minding my own business, being Greek, working at StatsCan, and singing, learning these songs in Chinese. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? No, thinked it. No, thunk it.
Thunk it.
That this would be realized on a global scale, from Athens to Beijing. I'll stop talking there, and things happen. Unbelievable.
Now, George, you were in Athens, and then you performed at the ceremonies in Beijing, correct? Am I correct about that?
Well, my whole dream back in 2001, when it was announced Beijing won the games, my whole vision in 2001, when I first heard about Beijing winning, I thought, wow, George, you're Greek singing in Chinese, Athens, Beijing. My main dream was performing at the closing ceremonies of the 2004 Athens Games.
Right.
And as you said, when the flag is passed, that was my dream. That never happened, but a ton of other things happened.
So just so everybody's listening now, it got to the point, and I know this for a fact, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but you have millions of fans in China, like millions. And you've been on television. There was a documentary made about you about 15 years ago called Chairman George. I think it was BBC and CBC.
CTV, yeah.
CTV in Canada, but you've been showcased on many numerous articles and news programs. And it's funny because I would see you at the Greek Festival in Ottawa at the Panigiri.
Yeah.
Say, hey, George, how's it going? I would see George. We knew you. You had your bouzouki. And I remember once asking you, hey, what are you doing? And you said to me, well, I'm here this week hanging out. But then next week I'm going to Beijing. I got a little tour. So you would play. George would come sometimes at the festival in Ottawa in front of, and they'd have good crowds at the Greek Summer Fest. It's one of the best Greek festivals in North America, by the way.
It is, yeah.
It is. And you get thousands of people coming. And I'm thinking to myself, George, you're going to Beijing, and you literally have been on feature there, and it's like you're like the Greek Elvis to the Chinese. And it's so bizarre because the thing is when you're doing your songs, do you take some Greek songs and translate them into Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever language you're speaking?
This is the album.
Okay.
2 years ago, we released Chairman George bringing the Greek party to China.
Bravo.
It's an album. My producer and I in Ottawa, we went through the entire, or rather, I did. He's Caucasian, Canadian, big deal. We went through the entire gamut of all Greek categories of music. Rebetika, endechna, laika, rebetika, dimotika, all the genres, and I chose 10 quintessential songs that we decided we were going to turn upside down, rip apart, and create Chinese, bilingual Greek Chinese versions of these songs.
I'm laughing because it sounds funny, but you're so successful there. And this is the thing. Now, let me ask you, have any Greek news agencies in Greece picked up on your story? Have they interviewed you from Greece? Not really. And this is interesting to me. And this is why Connecting Greeks is so essential, George. I've been on television in Greece, and the Greeks sometimes are isolated in a bubble, and they don't realize the magnitude of what Greeks in the diaspora have actually done. Mm-hmm. I brought you up when I was at Mega Channel in Athens. I was there promoting a tour that I was on, and I talked about you, and the guy looked confused. He goes, "Enalapto." So he's Greek Canadian, yeah. He goes to China, yeah. He sings in Mandarin or Cantonese, yeah. Of Greek songs, yeah. And he's Greek, yeah. And Greece, I said, put it this way. Greece has 11 million people. George's audience is about 5 times that in China. And he could not, and it's nothing on your doing, George.
Yeah.
But he could not grasp. I could see that he didn't grasp what I was saying to him. I go, look, you have 11 million people in Greece and maybe another 11 million in the world.
Yeah.
All the Greeks in the world is like one average city in China.
Yeah.
So the idea that I can understand somebody going there, but the idea and what I found so fascinating, and it tells me how much of a patriot you are in your heart, is that you bring your bouzouki, and this is how the Greeks colonized. You go, I'm going to play the bouzouki, and the Chinese people are going to go freaking crazy for this. Yep. Am I right, George? I mean, pretty much. I've talked you up many times. We've run into each other over the years, and I've said this, and I'm like, and you could see that the wheels in his head, because they have great Greek singers. Yeah. And the guys tell me, they got like Plutarcho and Remo, and they're great. They're great. I love them. Yeah. But I said, guys, you don't understand. They have a great audience and they play. But you see, I think what happens, you get a provincial mentality sometimes. Not saying the Greeks are provincial. I'm just saying they think that's their world. And I go, this man goes to China and performs and is known by millions of Chinese nationals, literally millions, in a country that we still really don't know a lot about. Yeah. Think about crossing barriers. You base in Canada, you're Greek, and you go to China, and you're talking their language. So, but I want to ask you, saying that, how do they like the bouzouki in China?
They like the bouzouki very much because the bouzouki. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
The bouzouki.
Right.
The bouzouki is similar to an instrument from northwest China, where the Muslim Chinese live.
Right.
Called the dongbula. Dongbula, very similar. It looks like a saz, similar to the bouzouki. So the Greek bouzouki, they've seen versions of that before. But they love the sound of it. And I'm speaking and singing in Mandarin and in Greek all the time. I don't sing in any other language.
That's awesome.
It's the two cultures, 50-50. And it's incredible.
Now, Yorgo, can we ask you for, I don't need a whole song, but could you do a little sample of some Mandarin Greek for us?
Of course.
Just a little Mandarin Greek. Just a little sample so the fans can listen to it, because I want people to see this.
Yeah.
So here we are. Chairman George singing one of his songs in Mandarin and Greek.
So this song is by, it's a rebetico by Apostolos Kalvaras. It's a very well-known rebetico song. And I'm going to sing a sample of it with a little bit of bouzouki, not to overdo it here at all.
Okay.
First in Greek, and by the way, I don't sing in Cantonese, it's actually Mandarin.
Mandarin, okay. I wasn't sure, that's why.
No problem. We're going to go from Greek to Mandarin, and then I want to say a few words about this afterwards. So here it is. This is called Viva Rebetes, or in Mandarin, Ganbei Pangyo. Hold on.
A little tune up.
Perfect. One, two, three. Μ' αρέσει το πιωτό, μ' αρέσει να το πίνω, να μεθώ. Με ζεμπέκικο καλό, το κάθε πόνο σβήνω και ξεχνώ.
Oh no.
Did he freeze?
That's okay.
Βαρεμπέτε, τούτη βραδιά, παίξε μπουζούκι μου κι όχι πολλά. Λίγα χρόνια και καλά. Όπα!我喜欢美洲滋味，喜欢那微微的一点点儿滋味。跳起舞来举起杯，痛苦都随放，笑声我无怨无悔。干杯吧，朋友，朋友干杯，我们的友谊没有虚伪。弹起琵琶，我独自安慰，今夜短暂而最美。欧巴！
Bravo!
Fiori,
That was amazing.
would it be wrong? Would it be wrong of me to say that I like the Chinese better than the Greek?
You are absolutely entitled.
All right.
I'd like to explain the modus operandi of how this was done. Just briefly, if you would allow me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I would take a Greek song. I'm just going to put this back in its thiki.
Okay. Thanks for doing that, George. We really appreciate it.
Sure. And by the way, I also have a Chinese song going backwards from Chinese, turning it into Greek. But that's later. That's going. So I swing both ways. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry about that. But the modus operandi will take a Greek song, take the lyrics. For example, a Greek verse. Πώς μ' αρέσει το πιωτό, μ' αρέσει να πίνω, να μεθώ. Με ζεμπέκικο καλό, το κάθε πόνο σβήνω και ξεχνώ. I translate that into English. I then send that English text in Ottawa to my hired Chinese lady translator. She'll take the English lyrics, she's familiar with the English language, she'll convert it into Chinese.
Oh,
And I will tell her, please, at the end of every sentence, make the words rhyme. Make them rhyme.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And I'll leave that to her. Notice in the Greek, it rhymes. For example, viva rebetes, viva pedia, mesti rebetiki tutti vradia, pexe bouzouki kyochi pola, liga chronia kekala. I'll tell her to take that and choose the Chinese words so that the number of syllables in each line is the same as in the Greek. So for each line, I will send her the number of Greek syllables in each sentence, and she'll translate from the English into Chinese, making sure that there's the same number of Chinese syllables and with rhyming. Are you sitting down? I'll just read to you that chorus now in Mandarin. I'll just say it. First in Greek, then in Mandarin, and you'll fall out of your chair. Viva rebetes, viva pedia. Mesti rebetiki, tutti vradia. Pexe bouzouki, kyochi pola. Liga chronia, kekala. Here it is in Mandarin. Completely understandable to a native audience. Ganbei ba pangyo, pangyo ganbei. Wamende yo I, meyo shiwei. Tan chi pipa, waduze an wei. Chi nie duanzan zui. That's it.
Amazing. Amazing. It's amazing how you were able. I mean, I think Ari and Forty are blown away.
I'm speechless.
Because
I don't know what to say.
It's one thing to do something Greek to English or French or Spanish, but the idea, George, that you took this and made it your own and turned it into something that appeals to an audience, I mean, it's phenomenal. I don't know if the guys want to ask you anything here, but I mean, it's just...
So, Yorgo...
Fotios.
I have to commend you. Like I've never met anyone of your abilities by any means. So, when you visit China, are you able to communicate fluently with the locals of the area that you visit? Do you pick up the language easily and speak it as well?
Yes, I speak the regular national official spoken language of China, which is Mandarin. Not Shanghaiese, not Cantonese, but it's Mandarin, and I speak Mandarin not technically, but very fluently conversationally. So anybody on the street,
that's right.
I'm in a fish in water.
So second question.
Yeah.
So how about this? I'm assuming you dine at restaurants that are Cantonese and Mandarin. So when you go to these restaurants and the server comes to the table to take your order, do you order in their language?
In China, you mean?
Oh, no, here. Or even China or here.
Well, in China, you would have to. Here, though, I wouldn't say a word, and I'd let them make fun of me in their own language, and then I'd bust it up.
So my question was, do you shock them by ordering in their language?
Even here in Ottawa, in Chinatown, or in China, whenever for me, it's like robotic automatic. Whenever I see Chinese people around me, I automatically switch to Mandarin because I like the effect of that wow factor.
The double take?
Also, I love to communicate in the language. So I will order food. Now I don't know the menu items in Mandarin, but I will say I'd like some fish or meat or pork. I say all that in Mandarin automatically. Yeah.
What I think is pretty impressive is that when I first read that you did this, you performed in Chinese and you went to China and you did all this, I thought you were learning this from a child. And then you mentioned earlier that no, you were an adult and you met somebody and then you started, which I think is pretty impressive because that's almost as impressive as learning Greek as an adult. And Greek is a difficult language, and I'm assuming Chinese is extremely difficult. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's unique.
It is.
Do you have are there any other people that you would consider competition for you, or is there any Greek?
Who's competition for George?
I've learned that I write business plans, and you always have to write who's your competition. I suppose if you wrote a business plan, you'd be like, it's just me.
How about all right? How about this, Yorgo? Being in, have you bumped into other Greeks?
Go on.
Visiting China? You have?
Hold on. Sure. In fact, I am familiar with whoever is the Greek cultural attaché at the Greek embassy in Beijing, the Greek consulates in Shanghai and Guangzhou, and the Canadian side too. Don't forget don't forget Canada. I'm familiar with all of those folks. I tell them what I'm doing. Yes.
Nice.
Now, George, let me ask you. Do you get recognized a lot when you go to China? Because the whole year, 8 months of the year here and 4 months in China. Do people stop you? Because there's a lot of people there. A lot of people. Do you get made a lot sometimes when you go out? They know you're German George?
No, I'm not. For example, let's take a Brad Pitt. I'm not like a Brad Pitt.
Okay.
I think you are.
I think you are.
But once when I landed at the Beijing International Airport, I come out of the plane into the main foyer area, and I see this young guy. He's looking at me, and he's playing air guitar.
Right.
Like, how did that happen? But what's funny, are you sitting down? What I get more of, you'll be shocked and amazed. People think, when they first see me, guess what? People think I am Mr.
No way.
You said it. Now I cannot unsee it.
Now that you said it. He's my favorite.
With a bouzouki.
I've played, when I've done national television in China, the directors will do a split screen with my face and Mr. Bean on the side.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have the hair different,
you can see it. Yeah,
pretty much a spitting image. Oh.
Yep. And there, I've been chased by people in airports, thinking I'm Mr. Bean, and they're shocked that I'm all alone, and they're asking, when is your next film, and all of this.
Well, George, I got to say,
on go along with it.
I do. I actually do. Yes.
George, on the chat here, George says, yes, he does, and I'm proud of him. Yasu de Yorgo from Linas Bravo, Alinica Tragudia. Yasas to everybody from Tony in Ottawa. Yasu from Ottawa. What Rebet is in Chinese, there's a slight resemblance. A lot of people, we got a lot of fans of yours, George, from Ottawa and from everywhere around.
Really?
Yeah, they're on the chat. They're on the chat right now, which is good. Now, Yorgo, I got to ask you. So now, you're still giving the COVID situation, which we're all in right now.
Yeah.
How has that affected now your future plans for maybe going to China, or because you're immersed in that culture now? Is it when you're talking to the people there? What are they saying in terms of your? When can you go back and maybe do some more touring?
Actually, I mean, back in 2007, as an aside, I gave a New Year concert actually in the city of Wuhan.
Wuhan, right? Okay.
Apparently this came from. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I talked with some promoters in China. I had a couple of them contact me a month ago about doing some gigs there when COVID is over. Things in China from a COVID point of view have settled down actually quite a lot.
Right.
It's much better there than elsewhere in the world. Right now, for me going to China, I wouldn't go.
Right. For now.
But later, if things get better, I would certainly go back, and I would love to go back. I've been to China 40 times to 25 cities.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, what's the response from the Greek embassy and consulates in China when you go there and they come to your shows in China? I mean, the Greeks got to be somewhat impressed, because it's hard to impress Greeks, you know that. But they got to be thinking to themselves, a Greek, and you're very humble, George, because that's your Canadian side. The Canadians tend to be much more humble about it. But what's their response? Like, what do they say to you, Yorgo, when you're in China? They're like, are they like, wow, bravo, like this is like something? Even the Greek embassy and the Canadian embassy have to admit that this is a very unique way to bridge two cultures. And you, like you said earlier, when you look at the Chinese and Greek culture, when I went to India to do touring, and I was outside, I found the people very much like going to the Choreo in Greece. I found the family unit was very much the same. Did you find the same experience when you were in China?
In terms of what?
Like
family?
You know the way. Like, where's your family from in Greece, George?
My family. That's
Your family.
A direct question. Thank you.
Direct to you.
Angelos. I'm basically from Pondos, Asia Minor. So I'm a Pondic. My family, Pondic Greeks from Smyrna, Mavripalas, Ketalipa.
All there. So did you find when you met people in China, like the families, if you went to somebody's house, did you find the Chinese, very much similar to the Greeks, meaning in terms of a family unit?
Very close.
The yaya, the papu, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like all that stuff. Yeah.
Parents, multi-generational, actually very close, not spread out or anything like that. Very family-oriented, much like Greeks. Exactly.
I found that when I was in India, with going out, and I said, yeah, they're different people, different food, different language, but I found being Greek, the other guys were a bit more freaked out about it. I thought, this is like being in my dad's Choreo in Peloponnese, but they're Indian or they're Greek. I mean, I didn't see, and they were impressed by that. They were like, you're not freaked out about it? Not really.
Yeah.
And do you find, George, is it part of our fabric? Is it part of our DNA? Why is it? And you're a living example of that. How Greeks can adapt to almost anywhere in the world. Not only do you learn the language, you're an entertainer and you're uber famous in China. And yet you have that same Greek humility where you keep your job and you do your stuff. It's so Greek when you think about it. But is it in our DNA? Is that who we are? We can go, I've met anywhere in the world, and somehow we have the capability to adapt wherever we go. Why is that?
Angelos, if we think back to ancient Greece, the ships, the location of where Greece is and was in the Aegean, being so accessible to these other lands, and what ancient Greeks did and the voyages and what they brought back. And they didn't bring back gold, they brought back culture. All that.
Culture and knowledge.
And knowledge. So Greeks have it in their DNA, it seems, at whatever time that they travel and they mix and they come back, but they keep their Greek spirit. I mean, my Greek spirit, I've been living in Canada all my life, but guess what? I'm Greek.
Bravo. Well, you see, you just summed it up for me. I look. Somebody asked me. They go, "So what's your story?" I go, "My mom's from Lesvo. My dad's from Sparti. I was born in Canada. I live in America with an Armenian wife, but I got married in a Greek church. I baptized my daughter Greek Orthodox. We go for spanakopita whenever we can. And if I meet, because I don't get a lot of people to speak Greek to, I'll be yapping off on it. It's just natural. It's not like I'm trying to do this. And as I'm talking to you guys now, this beautiful woman's crossing the street, which is very Greek, by the way. Yeah. But the thing is, I always found wherever you go in the world, Copenhagen, Beijing, London, Johannesburg, open up us. You're going to find for a little country, and it is in comparison to the world population, we're 20 plus million. To have this kind of an impact is amazing. So I'll ask all of you guys this question. Do you feel maybe now with technology and with everything going on, is the idea of Hellenism and the Greeks, is it somewhat deteriorating? I don't mean ending. Do you find that with the new generations, are they going to continue? Are we going to see people like George Sapounidis or other people taking those opportunities or the chances to do something in their lives. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not, but I've noticed that because Greece has the lowest, birth in Europe.
In the European Union, yes.
And they had financial difficulties. And I find a lot of times that us in the diaspora carry the hellenismo even more than they do.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming the Greeks because they've gone through a lot of crap over there too. But it's interesting to me because when you run into people, if you tell them you're Greek, first thing they say to me, I love Greek food. I want to go to Greece. I love Greeks. It's amazing. It's very rare. Not that we don't have our difficulties, but it's very rare that you hear negative things. When you tell people Greek and they want to go to Greece, and if you go now to Greece, if you go to Santorini and Mykonos, you're going to see signs in Mandarin now because of tourism. There's a lot of Chinese people going to Greece. Mind you, they bought a lot of Greece, which is interesting. But I think I just think do you guys think that, and I always say this, you preserve a culture through art, you preserve it through writing, knowledge, entertainment. Those are the things, the antiquities that make people what they are. So I think that it's important, and that's why it's important that we tell stories like yours, George, that people listening know that, this is, this is such a, like you blew us away singing in Greek and Mandarin. And we're just, me, Ari, and Foti are just sitting here going, wow. I mean, I've seen you before. And that was, and when they did your documentary, how did you feel about it? Because I saw it and it was great. I thought they really portrayed you nice.
The documentary, 2005, I Steal Film, the director, Daniel Cross. They're based in Montreal. Are you all sitting down? I'm also from Montreal. In 2002, I'm in South Canton Province in Guangzhou with some Chinese modern ballet dancers. In South China, I'm there. One morning I get up and guess what? I hear English voices. Wow. I get up, I go outside, I see these couple of vans with television cameras or whatever cameras, and I discover they're from where? Oh, you're from Canada. Oh, you're from Montreal. And they're shooting a documentary. And I met Daniel Cross, also from Montreal. There, we went for dinner one evening, and then I pulled up my guitar, and everybody, the Chinese came out of all the cracks in the wood, and Daniel Cross decided he's got to make a documentary. And where did I meet him? I met him from my hometown, are you sitting down, on the other side of the... It's just beautiful.
That's a great story. So here, Daniel Cross from Montreal, you hear English voices in South China, and they're there to do something else. They meet you, you pull out the bouzouki, boom, we got Chairman George. Now, who came up with the name Chairman George? Was that you?
It was the documentary, the directors and co-directors, when they were learning about my story, here's this guy, this tall, lanky, hairy Greek Canadian singing in Chinese, and his dream, the whole crux is that this Greek guy, tall, lanky, hairy Canadian, wants to bring the world together and Greece and China together by singing for 2 minutes at the closing ceremonies when the Olympic flag is passed from Athens to Beijing.
Crazy.
That was my dream, and he decided he was going to run with that, and he brought the story to the Banff International Producers Conference the year later at CTV Documart, and it won first prize.
That's right. I was going to say you did win first prize, and it was very well received. Now, for our people and fans listening, George, is there anywhere they can still see that documentary? Is it on any platforms or VOD or anything like that? Yes.
Chairman George is available on Vimeo On Demand, VOD.
Okay.
It is. It's the full documentary is there. There is also a teaser, a 2-minute teaser, and you can also so my joke is that you can rent me.
Right.
You can, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's there, Chairman George, VOD. You can look it up. Also, go to my YouTube channel.
Okay, good. So we got Chairman George YouTube channel, Vimeo VOD. People can see on that. And how is the current status now for you, George? I'll ask you because are you getting inspired in any way? We've been asking everybody this question. Are you getting inspired? Because, right now I'm in lockdown here in LA. I talk to people in Australia. They're locked down. Are you getting inspired in any way? Are you writing stuff? I mean, what's the situation in Ottawa? I know it's not bad in Ottawa. They're opening up correct. A bit.
Yeah. I'm here. I have a home here in Ottawa. I'm looking after my mom. My mom was the same age as the Queen of England.
Wow. God bless her. That's good.
Maybe a slightly better sense of humor, but that's okay. No, it's all good. So I'm here, and I'm actually feeling quite inspired by doing these live streams.
Good.
I feel good about that. I'm doing these multilingual live streams, Greek only or different languages. That's good. And I also want to write. I've written some songs, but I want to bring my original songs together and start performing my original song.
Right.
So I'm keen about that. And I'm also doing some shows for Chinese state media.
Wow.
So they send me, George, can you send us a video of this Mid-Autumn Festival song? And the Mid-Autumn Festival in China is next week. And they've even paid me for that from Beijing, which is
nice.
Just crazy. So I am feeling, to answer your question, I'm feeling inspired. I want to start writing songs. I want to write a song about mathematics. I want to write a song about OCD. I do, by the way, have OCD. I like to check things. So I want to write an OCD song, a mathematics. I've already written a song about magic.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Now, George, how many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak 4.
Okay.
English is debatable.
Okay.
French, Greek, and Mandarin Chinese.
Well, yeah.
But I sing in a dozen languages.
That's right, because I know you sing in a lot of other languages also, which is also, it shows you, the diversity that you have. And do you ever get requests to come to the U.S. to do any of these type of shows?
Not in recent years. By type of shows, you mean multilingual or
multilingual?
world?
Yeah, right. World multilingual festival or something.
No, I've done in years past. I've done many Canadian music festivals.
That's right.
But never. And I've years and years ago when I was contacting festivals, even in the U.S. when I was in my Ouzo Power Greek only phase at that time. But
I remember that.
Yeah, Ouzo Power.
I remember that.
But no, not in this. I mean, I'd love to go to the States, of course, when things are better. But I've never been called on. No.
If the Greeks were smart now, George, with the way world economics are going, they should do a summit in Athens with Chinese and Greeks and have you come and perform there for them. The Greeks and the Chinese would be blown away. So it's well. Look, I got to tell you, George, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I don't know if Ari and Forti have any more things they may want to ask you, but I've been a fan of yours for a long time. I've talked about you to many people.
Wow.
I want you. I really mean that. And I do want you, if you could tell us again where people can find you and where they can find all your information, if you could tell us again so they can hear it.
Wonderful. If folks would like to see what I've done video-wise, go to my YouTube channel, Chairman George.
Okay.
YouTube channel. That's fine. The documentary is on Vimeo on demand. You can contact me. Please do send me email, info@chairmangeorge.com. Instagram is the same thing. Chairman George. Instagram.
Chairman George at Instagram.
And we'll link all your information on the video and on the podcast as well, so everybody could find you. Even if they didn't see it tonight, they'll be able to see it forever. As
Forever,
long as
yeah.
I
We're
would
gonna
be delighted.
Yeah, and we're going to connect it, George, because what happens, we play this up, and then we put it on all our social media platforms, so it goes to a wide audience, and we shoot it out to all around the world so people can see this. Well, I got to say, George, we've almost gone close to an hour. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Time went by really fast. I have to tell you, you were an awesome guest today, and you're a very, very fascinating human being.
Oh, yeah.
And I really, as a Greek, I think we're very proud of you and your achievements, because I don't know anyone else has done what you've done, and I don't think anyone else will.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm so moved by your generosity and Fotis and Ari Angelos on having me on today. It's been a real thrill and an honor for me. Definitely. I want to show you something before I leave.
Yes. Give us something before you leave. Yeah.
I want to pay homage. Maybe a quick song. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sure, do it.
Okay.
Do it, for sure, yeah.
Okay, but before that, the Athens Olympic Games, my Olympic torch.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
And the Beijing Olympic Games. I'm two-time torch bearer.
Wow.
Look at that. So you got the Athens and Beijing.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Do you ever, George? Do you ever light them up?
They have been whatever. Not at all. It's,
Angelo.
That is awesome.
Before we do end our segment,
yes,
as we like to ask all of our guests, being that we're all Greek, and what connects us is our culture and our spirit. But we always ask these very fun questions before we end our segment. And some of the questions we like to ask, George, favorite and least favorite Greek food?
Favorite Greek food, by far, arnipsito lamb.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. And your least favorite?
Least favorite Greek food, that is a tall order. Probably the soup with all the andera in it.
Oh, yeah. Patsa,
yes.
Patsa. Yeah, I don't like that either, man. Intestine soup. It makes me barf. I don't like it.
It's great at 5 a.m. when you're intoxicated.
That's when it's good, because you don't know what you're eating because you're hammered.
The only time.
Right? Awesome.
That's great.
Can you play us out? Can you do a little song?
Sure. Would you like a Greek Chinese or pure Greek or pure Chinese?
Surprising.
I think Greek Chinese would be great.
Yeah.
All right.
Keeping with the theme here.
Fantastic. All right. All righty.
All righty then.
Who said that?
Or Jim Carrey. All righty then.
So this is a song. I'll just do a sample of it that Chinese people feel very enamored by when they hear it. This is a song by Thodorakis. It's a classic endechno Thodorakis at the hidden seashore in Greek, sto periali to krifo. 大滩上，我们写下了她的名字，美丽的微风吹，带走了她的名字，美丽的微风吹过，带走了她的名字。
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah, so
Chairman George, that was an awesome way to end it out today, George. Thank you so much. That was fantastic.
Shilakya.
Nasekala, Yorgo. Nasekala. Thanks for coming on
Thank
the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, George.
Amazing.
All right. We want to thank all of our viewers. We want to thank Foti. We want to thank Angelo. George, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence, with your unique style, with your awesome just whole persona. I love it. And thank you for working with me all week on finding that glitch, which I worked out just right at the end with, with the registration. So you and I will keep talking about hacking some computer stuff. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Nasekala.
And thanks to everybody for watching.
All right, guys. Great show today. That was a great show today. Everybody's got to watch this. Talk next week, guys.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.